Your thoughts on facing Valerian Dagby in the upcoming match?
Obviously Nagby's been coming off the bench the last few games, so I'm sure for us he'll be, in the lineup or close to it. Those guys are good players. They're a good team. We hope to be able to continue some of the success we've had with them this year.
Any update on Pineda?
He trained today, so we'll see how he came through training today.
Ozzy and Clint, okay?
Yeah, they just went through a regen today. Yeah.
With the way they play their midfield, does getting wide play become even more important in this game?
Wide play is always important in every game, not just this game. And, obviously there's going to be battles out wide. There's going to be battles in the middle of midfield. We've got to look at things that we've done and had success with against them and try and make sure we do more of that.
How difficult is it to face a team 4 times in one season, especially after you've beat them the last 2 times you faced them?
Invariably, sometimes when you add it all up, you face a team 6 times. So, but it is what it is. So, it's just another game. But, it's when quality teams play each other, chances are odds even out at some point. But, we're going down there. Points are important to us. Points are important to them.
When Adrian talked to us the other day about the season ticket plan for next year, he was stressing the importance of the value the club puts in getting back into Champions League. Could you talk a little bit about that now that MLS is getting going again? You're watching other teams going. Y'all aren't there. How important y'all do want to get back into that?
Well, I think the team misses that competition. You complain about the travel and everything else, but certainly players like to play in that competition because they know what it ultimately leads to. We know what the ways are to get into that competition. We're still in the hunt for all 3 of those chances, so we got to make hopefully all 3 of those chances reality. If not, one of those 3.
I've talked a little bit lately about Clint, just kind of trying to keep him fresh and everything else. Looking backwards, would you guys have done anything differently in terms of the loan deal, especially at the beginning of the year, that maybe would have changed his status now?
That was his request, and it was something that he had talked about. Jurgen and him had talked about, and it was part of what they felt was best for his preparation for the World Cup. And I thought he had a good World Cup, but obviously you pay for it a little bit at the back end now. And like I said, European players have all had time off. There's coaches there that saying 3 weeks wasn't enough; it should be 6, and so it's always going to be that thing. But it's not just a physical strain; it's also the mental strain. Like the mental strain of the World Cup is different for a Clint Dempsey than it is for a DeAndre Yedlin. When you're a young player coming in, happy to make the squad, happy to get some minutes on the field, and the other case, you're captain of the team. You're the guy who's got to do all the press stuff, and you're the face of the team to a certain extent. So there's a lot more, psychological demands on you as well. And so we've got to manage it right now the best we can. And then find windows when we can, so he can rejuvenate himself physically and psychologically. Also get himself back onto a good form.
So this past week they had torn the field out at Levi Stadium. Did y'all have any problems with the footing on that stadium?
I don't know. There were a couple of places where it didn't look like it had fully grown in, but I'm a bit surprised that they ripped out the whole field. Maybe it's because they lost their first game.
You're talking about the Champions Leagues earlier. Now, Portland's kind of feeling the stress of that this week because they were on the East Coast and had to go down to Central America, and now they're coming back to Portland to travel and play those 3 games in 3 days.
They've had travel. It was certainly an extensive travel trip, but it was not a tough opponent. In Champions League, when you're looking at opponents, and I know we've gone back. We've played some of the Caribbean teams as well. And no lack of respect to them because they're teams that have qualified, but certainly playing the teams from Central America or Mexico are tougher. And so, the travel was further, but they were able to go down there with basically their reserve team and still get a result. It wasn't a strenuous game.
I believe Vancouver's in 5th right now. What does the addition of Rosales do for them down the stretch?
No, that's a Carl Robinson question. I think he can answer that better than me. They wanted him, so they added him to the team. I'm sure, that veteran player, they got a lot of speed up front. They're hoping for, when Morales isn't available, can Mauro step in and maybe slip those guys in. So, you know. But I don't know the inner workings.
And any personal moves? I know y'all are always looking to get better. You think anything will happen before the roster's set here?
We're always looking. Yeah, we're looking. We were close on something. It didn't come off. So, but we're still looking.
Hitting the last of 5 in 15 days. What's the feeling of the group going into that last game?
The feeling going into the last game now has to be one of, hey, you know, this is it. This is the last game. Let's suck it up. Let's get it done.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.